So today we are going to do a little bit more work on what we've already been studying. Who can tell me what we were doing even yesterday? What were we doing?
Learning about presidents.
Okay, well that was in our knowledge piece. What about in our CKLA skills when we learned how to write and read? What were we learning about then? Juliana? Okay, yeah, that sneaky E that jumps over that other consonant and it scares that I. And what does the I do when it gets scared?
It says I.
It says I. And so then when we see that there's that sneaky E in a word, then we know that that vowel is going to say its name. Well, we're going to do a little bit more work with that. But before we get started in more work with our sneaky E, making the I say its name, we're going to review with our sight words or our tricky words. Why are they tricky?
Because sometimes the letters don't say what it's supposed to.
Exactly.
And sometimes that Y actually doesn't behave. That Y sometimes is one of our vowels.
You are so right.
Sometimes that I wants to say the I's name.
You're right. Like sometimes our letters don't behave. They're sneaky and they are tricky, and that is why we call them our tricky words. And so what we're going to do real quick, Miss Rachel's got our flashcards ready. Show me that you are crisscross applesauce. And we are going to see who has their thinking caps on today. Ready?
Yep. The word. And. All. Here. Where. No.
Fernando.
They. Which. Are. There. Red. Look. Why. We. He. From.
Miss Rachel skipped one.
She.
Good.
Blue. Down. Funny. Why. Up. Two.
Oh, two of the twos.
A. So little was said. There was me. Three. I went outward.
Woo, give yourself a bow. Good job. All right. Were there any that you looked at and you had to think a little bit before you heard it? No? You all had them in your brain? I am so impressed that you guys have them all down. Are you impressed?
No.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday about how much we've grown and how much that our brains have grown through this year. We started out not even knowing all of our sounds of our letters, right? And now we know all of these words. We can just look at them and say them like this. Okay, so today we're rereading the hike that we started yesterday, and Miss Rachel is doing a split in our lesson. I'm going to have some of you go and do some workbook pages, and I'm going to bring some of you back to my carpet and we're going to read together. And then Miss Rachel is going to switch, and I'm going to bring my people that were working on their work in their seats back to the carpet. Is that okay? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, before we split, Miss Rachel's going to show you on our screen what I want you to do. So everybody is going to do this work when you are going to go to your screen. So I'm going to get hooked up just a quick little second. Yeah, watch that TV. Our TV.
Miss Rachel, remember the time when we did the lights, and it took forever to come back on.
Sometimes experiments take their time, and that's all right.
It's like a volcano I'm going to do.
All right, I love how that my friend Hunter and Will are looking up here at the screen. So guys, when you go to your workbook, it is going to have a 12.1 up at the top. And Miss Rachel's going to write this on the board. It's also going to be for pages 67, 68, and 69. But look at what we have up here. This is a review of that sneaky E. Do you remember at the beginning I said, what have we been learning about? And that sneaky E, or some people maybe even call it a magic E. And it jumps over, it takes a flying leap over that consonant, and it scares that vowel. It says A or I. Well, we haven't talked about the E yet or the other vowels, but I think you probably have a good idea of what's to come, don't you? So I'm going to tell you what this page is about. This page has how many words up at the top? 3. Now, guys, this is big kid work. This is like I'm going to first grade work, all right? This is put your thinking caps on. I'm going to be reading not only the words up at the top to know what they are, but I'm going to see where they best fit in the sentence. And so in order to do that,
you have to read the sentence.
Oh, kiss your brain. Mwah. I love it. You also have to read that sentence. So Miss Rachel's going to get you started, and I'm going to tell you what these are up here. So let's sound them out. Ready? B. I. What? Bike.
And that E is silent.
That E is silent. It does not. Mm-mm. It is so quiet. You knew that first one was bike. All right. So let's read the second one. Say the sounds. I. Likes. Likes. Good. All right. Oh, you said it without even sounding out. Look at you. Your brain is in action. So for those of us that are still needing that sounding out, let's sound it out. Ready? A. Cake. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use, hope that didn't cut it off. We're going to use these words. We're going to read our sentence like Lila asked us to. And we're going to see which one puts it in the right place. Because it's not going to make sense if we put the wrong word in the blank. I'm going to purposefully put one in the wrong place, and you're going to see how silly it sounds, okay? I'm going to put my first one in the first blank. She bike, hide, and seek, and the slide. Does that make sense? No. Oh, keep that in your brain. So when you go into your work, you're going to look at your top words and think about where they're going to be in the blank. Now, we're going to do that for this page. Miss Rachel can't make it do what I need it to do. And there is a back page. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3 up at the top. We're also, there's a 6th one down here if Miss Rachel scrolls up. And you're going to be able to put those in the correct blanks. Yes.
When are we done? Do we rip it out?
No, you're going to hold on tight to it because by the time you're finished, hopefully if Miss Rachel has our timing right, then I'm going to switch you guys out. All right? So it's for you to do that. It is page 18 and 19. So if you will turn here. 18 and 19. Yesterday we introduced a fine hike, And when we did this, we had a lot of words that had that sneaky E with the what? With that I. And so we had that into practice when we read the long hike, a fine hike. Does everybody have that?
You just said I and an E word. Fine. You just said an I and an E word. Fine.
I did, didn't I? Yes. Yes. All right. All right, so we are crisscross applesaucing. And first read, Miss Rachel's going to read this, and I want you tracking in your book. And then I'm going to let you partner read with a friend, okay? So ears open, and we're tracking with our fingers. A fine hike. Scott is on a hike with Clive and Clive's dad. Let's stop right there. Do you see sneaky E already?
Yes.
Where do you see it?
Hike, Clive, Clive.
Very good. So we already in that first sentence see 3 of those sneaky E words. All right, so let's keep reading. They hike 3 miles up a big hill. At the hike is a sneaky E. At the top of the hill, Clive's dad says, "This is where we will camp." He drops his pack on the grass. Scott and Clive help him set up the tent. Clive, yes. All right, let's turn that page. All right, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Bless you. Bless you. At 5, Scott and Clive hike to the lake to fish. Oh, do you see something there that's a sneaky E with a different vowel?
Yes.
What do you see? Lake. Fernanda, do you need Miss Rachel? Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, they get 5 fish. At dusk, the kids hike back to camp. Clive's dad makes a fire. The kids munch on hot dogs. At 9, they get in their tent. They are all tired. They smile as they sleep. Why are they smiling?
Because they had a very good day.
They had a great day.
And they're 5, Clive.
So let's go back to page 18 and 19. And Miss Rachel is going to partner you up, and you guys are going to partner in 2, 4, 6, 8. Very good. So we all have a partner. All right. So Miss Rachel says Lila and Hunter, Tanaya and Charlie, Lennox and Juliana, and Natalia and Sophia. All right? Yes, we were magic then. All right, so Miss Rachel's going to close my book, and I'm going to listen as you read with your partners. Kind of go into your little separate areas so that you can read. I'm going to leave that up to you. You can either do a sentence at a time, or you can do the whole story at a time. That is going to be up to you and your partner. That's going to be your choice.
You should go first. I'll go first. Scott is on a hike with Clive and Clive on a hike. get 5 fish. At dusk, the kids hike back to camp. Clive's dad makes a fire but munch on hot dogs. At 9,
Someone's name.
This is very real. He drops his hat on the grass. Scott and Karen help him set up the tent. Did I go too fast? That was fast. You're fast learner reader. I got to reading. I got on the wrong page.
Because it was just brought to Miss Rachel's attention. I didn't put those pages on there. I put the other ones. So goodness gracious, 65 is where I needed us to be. Let's see if we can find that. Just real quick, we're going to do that, and then we're going to jump right into our reading. Okay, does everybody have that?
Yep.
Barnes, do you need help? Okay, let's see.
She liked the height and the fly.
All right, let's look at these and let's see if we have the right answers. All right, she blank, hide and seek, and the slide. What should we put there?
Like.
Likes. Did you spell it like it was up here? Or did you leave out some? Very good. Thank you for fixing that. Let's see.
Bike.
All right, so let's look. Let's look at, did you spell it correctly? All right, Dan rides his bike to Sam's. Make sure that you've got that E on there, because without that E, let's say our sounds. It would be b-ick, bick. Would it be Dan rides his bick to Sam's?
What's a
Is that? I don't know. You tell me. Does that make sense?
A beak. Like a beak.
That doesn't make sense, does it, guys? Yes. Yes, quickly. All right, so number 3. Logan, look up here. Yum. That is a sweet cake. Very good. I'm looking, making sure everybody has that E on there, making that A say its name. All right, so let's look at the back side. Uh-oh, Barnes, you haven't gotten there quite yet. That's okay. Oh, you haven't either. All right.
I did
65, 66. You can actually write it up there if you want to. Okay. All right. If you didn't get to it, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to go over it together. Miss Rachel's going to let you put those answers in. Logan, are you paying attention? Okay. All right. He likes grapes and she blank.
Shares grapes.
Is it and she time?
No.
And she tree?
No.
And she trades.
Trades. I know what that means. That means share.
It means swapping, doesn't it? If you trade something, it means that you're swapping. So, writing trades.
I trade her on the back. I trade her too. She only traded me once. She traded me again.
Sorry, Barnes.
Just like
I think we're missing a letter here.
Just like swap to you.
All right. If you're still working on that, that's okay. Miss Rachel's going to look at number 5 so that we can do some reading together. Number 5 says, a swing hangs from the tree. That's right. So we should write the word tree.
I think we're missing a B.
Yeah, that's why Miss Rachel said, I think you're missing a letter there. Good. Good. And number 6 says, can she tell me what blanket is?
What time is?
That's exactly right. High five, my friend. What time it is. So we write the word time in our blank. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this is the stuff that first graders work on. They look and they're trying to make the sentence make sense. They're putting an answer selection in there. All right, so I want you to close your book,
I was listening to
put it behind you, and we're going to do some reading.
I was listening to Wild and I just keep on getting it correct.
Yes.
That's what I did.
Okay. So put your pencils behind you, and we're going to turn in our books to a fine hike. If you look in our table of contents, it will tell you that it starts on page 18. So I want you to turn to page 18 and find a fine hike.
I will stay here.
All right.
Okay, I'm not.
If you need help finding it, Miss Rachel will be happy to help you find that page. A fine hike.
Okay.
Good. Good.
Okay, this one is a fine hike. Fernando, stop. Don't worry about it. My fine hike is on 19.
18 and 19. Good.
A fine hike.
That's right. Fernando.
I spy.
Okay.
Oh,
Boys and girls, if you are working at your chair, make sure you're using a whisper voice. Thank you. All right, for a fine hike, Miss Rachel wants you to use your finger and you're going to follow along as Miss Rachel is reading. Okay? No. Ready? Scott is on a hike with Clive and Clive's dad. They hike 3 miles up a big hill. Do you see any words in that first paragraph that make that E say a vowel, make the vowel, other vowel say its name? What is that?
the I.
What is that? Hike and miles. Miles. Not the E doesn't say its name.
And this.
Oh, in the title, hike. That's right. That's exactly right. All right, keep on reading with Miss Rachel, tracking with your finger.
So we're
At the top of the hill, Clive's dad says, "This is where we will camp." He drops his pack on the grass. Scott and Clive help him set up the tent. All right.
Actually, you're going way too fast for me to catch up.
Am I? Okay, Miss Rachel will slow down just a tad bit, okay? I don't want to go too fast for you.
Sleepy. I don't want
All right, so tracking fingers. At 5, Scott and Clive hike to the lake to fish. They get 5 fish. Next paragraph. At dusk, the kids hike back to camp. Clive's dad makes a fire. The kids munch on hot dogs. At 9, they get in their tent. They are all tired. They smile as they sleep. All right, so let's go back here. And we're going to go to that very first page again.
Fernando, your feet are in the way.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. So this time, I want to see if you can make your voice match Miss Rachel's voice. Miss Rachel's going to slow it down, and I'm going to go pretty slow, okay?
For me to catch up.
I want for everybody to catch up. All right, we ready? Ready? A fine hike. Scott is on a hike with Clive and Clive's dad. So stop right there. Who are our characters in our story?
Scott.
Scott, Clive, and The dad, Clive's dad, right? All right, let's continue reading. They hike 3 miles up a big hill. Next paragraph. Miss Rachel's got to sit a little bit. A paragraph is a group of sentences. So do you see in our reading how there's like a little space? Yes. At the top of the hill, oh, I lost your voices. Clive's dad says, "This is where we will camp." Where are they going to camp? At the top of the, not a mountain, but a hill. That's right.
A hill is behind a big mountain.
It's like a rise in the land, isn't it? Okay. All right, next sentence. He drops his pack on the grass. Scott and Clive help him set up the tent. All right, let's turn our page. Ready? All right, here we go. At 5, Scott and Clive. What's that word? What's the word right after Clive? Look at it. Tell me. I want to hear you. What is? Not hick. Look at that word again. Miss Rachel wants to hear you say that.
Hike.
Why is it hike? Please tell me, why is that hike?
Because there's a sneaky E.
There is a sneaky E, and it made it say its name. Oh, yes. All right, so let's go back. At 5, Scott and Clive hike to the what?
Wait.
To the lake to fish. They get 5 fish. Yes. All right, next paragraph. At dusk, the kids hike back to camp. What's that person's name? Clive. Good. Clive's dad. What is it? Not Max. It has a sneaky E, so what's our rule? Nope, it's the A. Makes, that's right. We've got to make sure that we know that makes a fire. The kids munch on hot dogs. Last paragraph. I do too, I tell you what. Hold on just a moment. At
10.
no.
9.
At 9, they get in their tent. They are all tired. They smile as they sleep. All right, good job, guys. Kiss your brains.